I'm a mother to people that are older than me. That's the funniest thing ever to me. Texted me this morning, hello, mama, I love you. And I'm thinking, you like 20 years older than me, but hey, boo. Because what you go through as a mother is not even for you. It's for somebody else. Somebody else that didn't have a mama. Somebody else that felt thrown away. Somebody else. And the things that you're going through right now, you're paving the way for people in your life that you don't even know is watching you. And so as I was sitting on the front row, I was like, what am I feeling? I'm feeling something. And I started feeling, the Lord started speaking to me, and he said, it's crazy how we have holidays. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and none of these days do we feel like celebrating hardly. Because the world has warped us so much that when it's Father's Day, you got the mamas putting out there, well, happy Father's Day to me because my husband wasn't there. I'm a mother and a dad. And so it's so hard for us to be celebrated because how many single mamas do we have in here? How many single mamas? Now, I know I got 20 messages from my single mamas. I have a huge single mama church, and they all with their mama. I said, great, I'm going to have 2 people here today. So raise your hand real quick for the single mamas. I want you to stand up. I want the single mama to stand up. Y'all better celebrate them. I'm talking, you better celebrate. You women with husbands, y'all better celebrate. Because it ain't easy. It ain't easy being a single mother. It's not easy because you are having these holidays and it feels so thankless. And you're thinking of how you birthed this baby out of somewhere that nothing should have come out of. You birthed this life. And you were so gifted by God to do it, but yet you don't even feel celebrated. You just want to thank you. I woke up this morning already mad. I walked downstairs, and I was like, ain't nobody got me nothing. I literally was going over my sermon, telling myself, girl, you better get yourself together. You better not get mad. I was already mad. Like, I am so sick and tired of, I was already calculating all the things that I've done for everybody in my family, and they forgot about me. Like, I'm already taking note. I'm going back like 15 years. I did that. I worked 2 and 3 jobs for you. I didn't eat when you were eating. I was already calculating, and God said, girl, you better get your attitude straightened out, because if they're not celebrating you today, they're going to celebrate you. Because what you're doing now is investing in some seed. I came to church, and if my kid didn't have me everything of my favorites, my boys had gone to Top Shop. They are the only ones that will risk buying me clothes. Mama jeans. And mama jeans that are supposed to be hot, I'm going to have to wear Spanx to wear them, but hey, he thought about it. And I started thinking about how just the call of being a mother. And then I started thinking about there are even women in here that you are married, but you're still alone. There are women in here that are working all of these jobs, and you can barely make your kids' functions, and you feel underappreciated. And God said, before they leave today, the heaviness is going to be broken off of you. Because you know what? It's not about the gift. It's about the gift that you stare at each day. The gift that wakes up and calls you mom. The gift, there are some of you in this place today that you won't even get a phone call from your trifling child. But that is not the way the story is going to end. That child has watched you grow up, and maybe they're taking their pain from their father not being in their life off on you. Women, we carry a lot, because the way it usually rolls is the boys and the girls are mad at us because the daddy decided he didn't want to be in their life anymore. And so all of the work we're doing, and we still feel underappreciated. But you were called and chosen. And I look at my children, my 2 sons. I have a 21-year-old and a 23-year-old. And I look at how for all of these years, how God created those boys to fit my life. All the hell that I put those boys through because I wanted a man to be in their life. And so I said, I want my family to stay together. So all my kids heard going to sleep for all those years was their lullabies were screaming and hollering and feeling afraid and feeling fear. And so what happens, because the enemy knows that if he can get you as a mama off track, then you won't be poured into your children like you need to. And so then what he makes you do is start feeling guilty because you couldn't make it work over here. He starts making you feel guilty because you can't cook like your sister-in-law. He starts making you feel guilty because you got to work 2 and 3 jobs and can't go to all their football games. He makes you feel guilty because you have to do this or because you moved them from their comfort zone. And then all of a sudden you are so weighed down with guilt and shame that it sidetracks you because you are beyond God. It's God and then you are the most important people in that baby's life. Because you have a way that you can just look at that kid. My kids are 23 and 21. I could just look at them. I give them that side eye. I dare you. I will go Medea so flat on you. You better, and before long, my oldest says, I'm scared to death of you. I don't know why. He acts like I beat the tar out of him. But it's something on the inside of a boy and a girl that they don't want to displease their mother. They know that their mother have given them life. And so I'm here to tell you today, I'm going to tell you a story of a lady, the power that you have as a lady. When I turn around, we're going to talk about Jochebed. Is that her name? Jochebed? Jochebed, we're going to call you Jockey. Her name going to be called Jockey today. And she was the mother of Moses. She's very rarely talked about, but oh, what a woman she was. Some of you in this room have had to make some decisions in your child's life that wasn't very favorable for you in your child's eyes. And this is the same thing that we're going to talk about with Jockey today. The ideas and the things that she did. Because she was called to that child just like you. And so as Jockey, I'm going to call her name right so y'all can get the story. Jochebed was a finely drawn portrait of a mother with faith. Jochebed is mentioned only a few times in Scripture. Yet despite all her low profile, she provides a finely drawn portrait of a mother with faith. In fact, she even made it into the Hall of Fame for faith in Hebrews 11 and 23. The nation of Israel had been in Egypt for almost 400 years. They grew and prospered, but before long, they became a threat to the reigning Pharaoh. So Pharaoh forced them into slavery, and Pharaoh commanded the Hebrew midwives to murder the newborn sons of the Hebrew women as they were given birth. When he discovered that he couldn't rely on the midwives because they feared God more than him, he tried another approach. He told his people to stay on the lookout for Hebrew babies. If they saw one, they were to throw him in the Nile and watch him drown. How many of you going to do that? How many of you women going to say, go on and drown? Not me. I'd be like, you better, I'd be hiding that baby. I'd be like, there ain't no way I would do it. But back in this day, that's what they were charged to do. It was during this reign of terror that Jochebed became pregnant with her third child. She didn't have to worry about her older 2 children, Aaron and Miriam, but the child in her womb would be fair game for any patriotic Egyptian in a bad mood. Can you imagine living with such fear? Can you imagine living? That's some of you in this room, and the reason I keep talking about divorce is because I walked through it. There's some of you in this room that are having to right now share children, and you don't want to share children because you over here as a mama got this thing on the inside of you that's saying, I don't feel safe with my child over there, but they got to go. You got to be like Jochebed today, and you got to begin to have some foolish faith and begin to, before your children leave, realize that you are, and the God on the inside of you is bigger than any fear that you can worry about, because that child came from you, which means that child's got your favor, which means they can go all they want to go, but before they leave that house, you anoint that baby's head and you pray over that baby's head and you put angels around that baby's head. You as a mama got that power. There's something about a praying mama. There's something about, this is why the enemy tries to take us women out in our emotions. Takes us out, makes us crazy, makes us angry. Uses all of these things. We trust in man more than we trust in God. And it is because the enemy knows that if he can get our mind, he allows us to become angry and bitter. And we want that man to hurt as bad as they hurt us. And so we walk around telling our children all the time what a low life he is. And then when your child begins to act up, all of a sudden you're looking at your child saying, you just like your daddy. And that child has heard forever how you have talked about how horrible his dad was. That's how much power you have. This is why the enemy's after you, trying to defeat you, trying to make you discouraged, trying to wear you out because he can't take you out. And so what he's doing is getting you to a place where your insides feel like they're just suffocating. You're tired. I look up here at our choir at Crystal, and I look at my awesome Miriam over there. I just look at these single mothers all throughout this building, and I look up there and realize that Crystal's got 3 babies, and she's so dedicated to God. Her husband is away overseas serving, and she is so dedicated to God that on a Sunday morning, she'll wake her kids up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get those kids dressed and get up here to church, stay all day on Sunday serving God while her kids are sitting there. I look at all the single mothers in this church. Your children are awesome. We ain't got no cray-cray kids up in here. I look at these single mothers that are working, and they ain't got just 1 kid. Y'all like some baby-making people. Y'all single mamas got like 3 and 4. But your kids will sit on that front row, and they ain't acting, they ain't running, they ain't over here, they know that they honor that God has equipped you. And if you begin to get yourself in order, here's what I want you to do. Some of you acting crazy yourself. You got to pull yourself back in, and you got to begin to lay hands on yourself. You may not have a man to lay hands on you, but God's going to bring you a man. God is going to bring you a husband into your life that is going to be just like my husband, that is going to renew the years. He's going to love my children, and he's going to love your children just like they were his own. But you got to get yourself back under control. You got to be at a place, woman of God, where you can look in that mirror and you can begin to tell yourself, mind, you're acting crazy today, but I'm bringing you back under submission. I ain't crazy today, and I ain't crazy tomorrow. And these kids, instead of hearing you yelling every morning, y'all, we will literally be on the phone praying for somebody. Father, thank you. Yes, Lord, I pray over Shauna that she is used of God. Hush! Father, I thank you right now. I said, pick up your toys! Father, I thank you, Jesus, for everything you... Girl, I'm going to take my shoe. They got to see you. I know you say, I can't do it. Oh, yes, you can. Philippians 4:13 said, you can do all things. When you feel... Y'all know how many times you've been already trying to give up? I think I'm going to give up. Did you know you can't? You're a mother. You are on 24 hours, 7 days a week, boo. Yeah, boo. You can't give up. You might as well shift your personality. Shift your mind. Start shifting it. Stop looking at what you ain't got and look at what you have. God trusted you with one of the greatest gifts on the planet. God trusted. People would kill to have your trifling kid. Not I have to raise this kid. No, I get to raise this kid. I have to work 2 and 3 jobs because that man ain't paying child support. And you telling them kids every day, well, if your dad would pay child support, you could play soccer. You know what the enemy's doing? He's using you to poison. Because one thing that I know about my kids, I went from making 6 figures to living back in my mom and daddy's house at 36 years old. For the first 6 months, I laid in my bed crying myself to sleep every night. I would come home from work, get in bed, get up, go back to work. I never spent time with my children because I was grieving. And I'll never forget, one day my brother came upstairs. He looked at me, he said, girl, get your behind up and get in the shower. It's time for you to live again. And I then all of a sudden started feeling that guilt. Man, my kids needed me. My kids needed me, and I wasn't there for them. And that weight started, because what happens when that weight comes on, you go back to that bed. You don't want to face it. That's why people get addicted to alcohol. That's why some of you have to have antidepressants, because you can't deal with the things that you've done in your life. That's the one thing that God told me in this place. They need to forgive themselves today. They got to forgive themselves for things they didn't know. They got to forgive them, because one thing that I can tell you is my God is a God that restores, and he restores time, and he has a way of giving your children amnesia. He has a way of giving your children amnesia so that your children don't remember you laying in that bed, in that place of grieving, wishing to God you would have made some different decisions. Tired. I know you're tired. Married women in this place, you're tired. You've been trying to raise kids and you're still broken. The enemy don't want you to get well because you're raising prophets. You're raising apostles. You're raising geniuses. You're raising business owners. You're raising an Apple discoverer. You're raising a Bill Gates. Listen, you got something in your head and it ain't too late. You can start today to step up to the plate and begin to be there and speak life. You may not be able to go to their games tomorrow because you're working, but your mouth, all they need is when you wake up in the morning, you look at them and say, hello, King. Hello, Queen. And start speaking into their life. Your kid don't want your gift. They don't want your presence. They want your time. They want your presence. And I am proof that if you surrender everything over to God and stop trying to be like your sister-in-law that can cook the best cookies on the planet, and you burn every one you put in the oven. Stop looking at that mama over there that she got 5 kids and she got time to go to the gym, and you over here with back boobs and ain't got time to do nothing. Stop comparing yourself to other mothers that look like they are doing such an easy job at it. Like it's so, I know Crystal up here looks like she works out every day. I look at her legs every day and say, God, when I get to heaven, I want her legs. I know she ain't got time to work out because she got 3 kids and up here at the church all the time, giving her time and volunteering. But I got to stop looking at that and begin to embrace who I am, because that's how the enemy gets you too. He begins to make you compare your life to other people. And I'm going to tell you something. Those people that are making it look so easy, they got nannies, they got babysitters, or they got husbands that tell them every day, you need to work out. Get that bread out of your hand. And so your mind is preoccupied. I'll never forget the day that I finally stood up again. I started living again. And I remember telling God that day, God, I want you to heal every part of me. And I want to feel myself being healed. I want to feel the pain leaving my body. I want to feel it, because there's a lot of mamas like me. And they're going to need me to know how to feel it, even when I ain't going through it. That you got to teach me, God, so that I can pull other women out of hell. Things that they want and they can't get. They don't feel like they can do it because they're tired. But God, I want to be there for them. And I remember that day. I'll never forget it. I got in that bed. I was acting pitiful because, we praying to God and we feeling the victim in our own story. It's always the ugly cry. You know the cry that never quits and nothing comes out? That was the kind of cry it was. And I said, okay, God, I want you to heal me and I'm going to let you. And then all of a sudden something rose up on the inside of me. Probably like a Rosa Parks kind of anointing. Where I finally said, honey, I ain't going down like this. I'm about to get myself well. And God, I'm about to put you at your word. When you said you stick closer than a brother. When you said you can turn night into day. You can turn the midnight hour into praise. You can turn the morning into a brand new morning. I'm about to give you 8 hours of my life. And I'm not getting up out of this bed until you start changing me. Until you start healing me. Until you start delivering me. And chop, chop. You got about 8 hours because my boy's going to need some oatmeal. And at that moment, because I began to let God take it from me, I started watching as I started living again. I didn't have to take medication. I didn't want to go back to a club. I didn't want any of it. I got set free just like that because I decided I'm done. Enough is enough. I'm no longer going to talk to those people that know everything about my ex. I don't need to keep up with people that know him. I'm no longer going to look at those people's eyes that every time I look at them, they're like, girl, you the only one that can't keep your marriage together. I'm going to take my place to where I stand victorious. and I'm going to walk like a queen. I'm about to lift up my eyes to the hills. I'm about to get vertical and stop looking horizontal. And I'm going to begin to speak. If I'm the only one speaking to Morgan and Lincoln's mother, I'm about to begin to speak. I'm not pitiful. I am powerful. I'm not in pain. I'm going to use my pain as a pulpit. My scars are turning to stars. I'm about to be a game changer. I'm about to, when I walk into a room, people just get set free because I'm that radically changed. And I look today at my children, and I look at them and think, my God, the good has outweighed the bad. In the last 7 years, the good, they had a horrible life, very toxic life. And I look at them today, and I think about how awesome they are. And how, because I didn't give them away to statistic, they didn't become a statistic. They were raised by a single mother. They were raised by a mother that couldn't go to Hawaii on vacation with the family. They were raised with a mother that I missed all the vacations. And now I hate vacations because I never went on no vacations. Because now I'm so happy with my life, I don't need no break. I have to make myself take time for them. Because I'm just so wanting to love people back to life. That's where you are today. And just like Jochebed, y'all thought I forgot about her, but I didn't. Jochebed literally discovered that she was not going to let her child go. And so what God did was he gave her the idea, and this is how we moms are. We moms can make a pappardelle spaghetti out of romaine noodles. We mamas can create the biggest Sweet 16 party off a $10 construction paper. We mamas can take some jeans from the Goodwill store and just cut them all up and make them look like we just bought them from American Eagle. We mamas got some anointing on us to turn mess into gold. We could just touch stuff. God created you. When he created you, he didn't just create you to love your child. He created you with gifts and every gift that you needed to raise that kid. And Jochebed's mom said, I'm about to build a basket. Where do you think she thought of that back in the day? You think they had baskets? But she found one. She created one. And she put her little Moses in a basket. He was supposed to be dead. But really in her head, she was like, I'm not disobeying God because I put him in the water. I just didn't put him in there to drown. And she knew. This is when the mamas got a little bit of ratchet. You know us mom, we got a little bit of ratchet, yet we still a whole lot of righteousness in it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to figure it out. Even if we got to move around a little bit. That's exactly what she did. She realized, you know what, people going to notice me if I'm watching Moses float down the water. So she sent her daughter. She said, I want you to watch as he floats down the water. As he floats down, I want you to stay incognito, but watch, because I believe that God's going to save my son. And so as he's floating, the sister keeps moving around and follows him. Then all of a sudden, can you believe the woman that found Moses was the daughter of the man that said, kill him? You see how God turned something because of a mother that didn't wait for her husband, but was on her knees praying? And so all of a sudden, she pulls the baby out, and all of a sudden, it's just like that sister. She shows up, probably like, hey, like she was there the whole time. She said, well, my mother can take care of your child, because see, back in those days, in the Pharaoh days, they would have wet nurses to raise the child until it was time, all the gooey part, the diarrhea, the crying all night. They wanted just the child that they could parade around, They didn't want to go through the nursing and the crying and waking up. So she all of a sudden said, my mama is a wet nurse. She goes, oh, well, I need your mama. And because of her obedience to not quit as a mother, not only did she set Moses that was supposed to die. See, a lot of mamas just want to give up. This is why you can't give up. Because the same man that was ordered her child to death now is getting into position. God used her obedience to put her son into position to be in another place at the right time. And now all of a sudden, Moses ends up with Pharaoh. What? Because of a mother that didn't give up. The whole life of this kid was fit because of an obedience of a mother to sacrifice, wanting her baby with her, but instead putting it in water. What am I saying? I'm saying there's some of you in here that you've got some hard decisions. You are going through things and you walked in this place heavy-hearted. But things that you're going through right now, God created you and birthed you to be your baby's mama. And there's something on the inside of you that God needed you to be that baby's mama, to get that kid where he needed to go. I look today at the times, and I look around the room at the moms that don't have mamas. There's some of you in here that you're tired. You don't have a mother to call. Your mama's gone. Today's not a happy holiday at all. But God's your mother. I'll be your mother. There's people in your life that God has brought into your life that have gone where you are. I'm proof that you can start out as a bad mama and end up a great mama. I'm proof that you can be bitter and broken. We're so good at being able to be looked at. But how many of us are scared to be touched? Because life has broken us. You look so good on the outside, but you won't let nobody touch you. You won't let nobody touch you. You won't let nobody get real close to you because where are they at? The people I depended on. That mother may not have been there for you. Your daddy might have walked out. Can I tell you that rejection is not necessarily someone wanting out of your life, but sometimes it's God needed them out of your future. And sometimes that's a daddy. That's a mama. Because they were going to pollute you. So God just used them to get you here. And then he said, I'm going to remove them from your life because where I'm taking you, I don't want you to be a statistic. Where you're at right now is exactly where you're supposed to be, or you wouldn't be here. And I prophesy over you today that you ain't seen nothing yet. I prophesy over you today that your ladder's going to be greater. I prophesy over you today that right now in your seat, God is beginning to fill your heart. He's beginning to fill the places that you feel depleted. Right now, I prophesy to you single mamas that you were created for this. I prophesy over you single mamas that think ain't nobody gonna ever love me and these kids. Yes, they will. I prophesy over you today that you will not struggle for the rest of your life. I break word curses off of you. I break generational curses off of you. I break that pitiful victim mentality spirit off of you. And I tell you that God said the babies that I put in your life are going to change the world. And you are the one that's holding the vessel to get them there. You might have dropped out of school. You might not have no money to buy them presents. And you may not get a phone call to say thank you. But when I tell you, you are in a season and not a sentence. You're coming out of this thing because you're making up your mind. Jochebed didn't feel like she was probably a very good mother either. She had no idea that what she was doing for her kid was about to set her kid up to win thousands to the Lord. You're raising kings and queens. You're that special. How can we birth something out of a place that nothing should have come out of? That as soon as we birth this baby, all of a sudden, with one smack, a living being begins to take breath. A living being begins to cry. A living being has a fingerprint that came out of you. Stand up, daughter-in-law. She's about to have us a baby. This is how special you are. I want you to stand this way so everybody can see. A baby. We're not talking about a super gift of singing. We're talking about in this right here, That's our little boy. I'm prophesying. There's legs, behind, hair, looked like it had hair to me, pug nose, big head like his dad and his grandpa. There's a baby here. That's how God created you, that you would bring life. See, when God created Adam, he created Adam because he wanted to. But when he created Eve because he had to. Because you are a game changer. You are going to bring life. You can either bring a dark cloud or you can bring a light cloud. You as a woman can change your marriage just like that. Or you can destroy your marriage. Your mouth has the power to build somebody up so much that they don't need nothing else but your words. That's how powerful you are. That's why the enemy's trying to take you out. But you better shake yourself loose. On July 2nd, she's going to be in that room pushing a baby out. And that baby's going to change the world. How can you push babies out, but you can't get through what you're at right now? Why are you letting loneliness? Why are you letting bitterness and anger and resentment? When you can birth life, and you're letting a season of your life to define your whole lifetime. You are allowing something to keep you stuck when you got some. You may not have had no kids yet, and you may have never had any kids, but you got the power to walk in a room and change everything. So if you're near this room today, you say, Kill, I heard the Lord sitting there. He said, these mamas in here need to forgive themselves. You can't even enjoy today because you need to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Proverbs 31 woman, she set us up. When I started reading Proverbs 31 woman, I was like, really? Like, not only did the woman like cook like a queen. Y'all, I'm telling you, I burn water. That poor husband of mine, I'm so glad he likes to cook. But she didn't only cook, but she made clothes. And when I looked at that, I thought, I can't do none of that. God said, girl, but you got gifts that she didn't have. You may not can cook, but you can sure make some reservations. You may not can sew, but you can show shop. God told me to tell you, I celebrate you. And if you're in this room today and you say, man, Kim, I'm everything you said, I feel tired. I look great on the outside, but on the inside, you can't touch me. My own kids can't really even touch me. Because I never let the walls down. I feel exhausted. I want you just to stand up on your feet. If you say, I just feel exhausted. Tired. Man, you other mamas, y'all doing good. High five, blow it up. Because it ain't easy being a mama. I feel tired. Because when you stand up on your feet, what's about to happen is God's about to break some stuff off of you. There's some of you in here, you've been a single mama for a long time. Honey, God's about to bring your Boaz. What? Because you couldn't touch you. Because of the stuff in your life. Protecting yourself. God's about to break that stuff off of you. Yes, yes. There's some more mamas in here, you need to stand up. Why do I ask you to stand up? Because you're identifying, you know what, I'm letting it go today. I'm being strong. I'm letting it go. Now what I want y'all to do is I want y'all to find a single mama. I want some of you mamas in here that got it together. I want you to get up out of your seat and I want you to walk to a single mother or one of these mothers. Y'all, there's a bunch in here that ain't single that I see standing. And I want you to go wrap your arms around them and hold them Come on, get up out of here. See what y'all looking at. And I don't want you to church hug either. I want you to wrap your arms around them. I'm talking hold them. Let them cry. It hurts. It's hard. It's lonely. Brenda, put your arms around her. I'm talking like a bear hug. Come on, that's it. I want you to move your body in. That's it. Let her hug you. That's it, baby girl. Brenda, you're so loved. You're so awesome. You feel like you've done more wrong than right, but you've done a lot right. There's healing taking place in here. Mama, can you go wrap your arms around Mary? Man, God's healing some hearts in here. Y'all don't understand how hard it is being a mama. But you are strong, queen. You are mighty, queen. This is going to be the best Mother's Day you've ever had. When I tell you that the next 12 months, you're going to watch a flip in the script. When I tell you that it won't be a struggle always. When I tell you that finances, I call forth finances, that you will be a lender and not a borrower. I call forth healing in your body. I call forth right now favor. You will have favor. I prophesy over you. You ain't driving no hoopty. You're going to be driving a fine car. You're going to be living in a nice house. When I prophesy over you that God is showing you favor. God's showing you favor. Just receive it. Man, there's so much healing going on in here. Doesn't it feel good to be able to know you got somebody else? What? Me and Pastor Mark, we love y'all so much. If you got to throw yourself a party today, you better go throw yourself a party. You go get some clothes on. You pull your high heels out. You get your best weave. You put your eyebrows on fleek. You put that outfit on, even if you got to put a Spanx on to feel better. Even if you got to just walk around the grocery store. Honey, you walk around owning in that place. This is a season where you celebrate yourself. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve. And I just heard the Lord say, tell them, your kids are going to be all right. God just told me to tell you, your kids are going to be all right. Your children are going to be all right. So, Father, as we leave this place today, did y'all love this? Do y'all feel really loved? Your heart should be like exploding. You should feel like the biggest queen ever. When you walk out, I'm telling you, I'd walk out and be like, can somebody come open my car door for me? Usher? Can you get Dustin? I need him to open the door for me. I need to feel like a queen. I'm not even kidding. The way you treat yourself, now you ain't got to be no diva every day, but today you can be a diva. You can take your rose and act like, in fact, there's some more roses over there. Some of y'all ain't never had 12 dozen. Grab you 11 more. I'm not even kidding. There's some of you in here that are mad at stuff you can fix.